just play the damn thing.
Okay, so check this out. A company called 7 Rhymes, I believe, is the name of this brand. They contacted me and offered me the opportunity to check out the 7Caster here on my channel. So that's what we're going to do here today. I'll be honest, I kind of thought this was going to be more of a recording interface. It took several weeks to get here because, they were out of stock for a while, and then they were back in stock, and then they sent one to me, and then by the time I got it, they were out of stock again, so we didn't, the company asked me to, not get in too big of a hurry making the video, but apparently now they're back in stock and they're ready to go. So, here we go. Admittedly, I thought this was going to be more of a recording interface than it is a podcasting interface. Apparently, it is more of a podcasting interface, definitely along the lines of like the Rodecaster and some of those other ones that are out on the market these days. So we're going to play around with this thing, and I am going to demo it as a recording interface because it's also supposed to double as that, and that's really what we came here to see. But let's also check out how this thing goes as a podcasting interface as well. Without further ado, so in the box we get the 7Caster itself. Let's see, we get the owner's manual and it looks like warranty card and all that kind of stuff in there. USB to USB-C cable, that's probably what we're going to use primarily. Another USB to USB-C cable. It's like a 1/8 inch TRS cable. Probably use that for a mobile application. This thing is designed to be used with mobile phones and laptops and all that kind of stuff. There's 2 of those. Okay, so we get 2 of each style cable. So 3.5 millimeter TRS to 3.5 millimeter TRS, and then USB-A to USB-C. 2 of those. Owner's manual, like I said, and of course, last but not least, free snacks. I love free snacks. Alrighty, I'm actually going to read up on this thing and learn how it works and plug it into my computer, and let's see what this thing's all about. Okay, so that's what we got on this thing as far as a recording interface. It seems to get the job done. It realistically though, it is really noisy. Really noisy. That short track that you just heard that I recorded, I had noise gates and stuff on pretty much every track on it. There was still a lot of hiss coming through. So, so now that's again high gain sounds and stuff like that. Probably not quite what this thing probably isn't designed to to record metal bands, but for a quick once over, get it done and shit and get it out the door, for a demo or something like that. It's fine, I suppose. But its primary function seems to be as a podcasting interface. It comes with there's quite a few effects that are built into this thing. I'm gonna mess around with some of them. For example, you can change the pitch on it.
Check. So you can change the pitch on it.
And you can go female or baby, or male, that is.
This is the baby pitch.
This is the monster pitch. This is the robot pitch, which doesn't sound much different.
This is the electronic pitch.
So you can change the pitch on it, which is kind of a cool effect. It's interesting. Kind of cool to play around with. I put on a set of headphones because I'm not using a monitor outputs on this interface. I'm still using the monitor outputs on my regular PreSonus interface that I use all the time. Let's see. We can also, it has scenes built into it. Let's see what these do. So this is a room. So it's reverb. Stage. Pretty cool. All. Host. So that would be more kind of like a broadcasting, like a broadcast studio type of reverb. With something that you might want to use for this situation right here. MC and KTV. I'm gonna put it back on host just because I think it's fun. Okay, so there are a few. There's also a few different controls down here in the bottom. Here in the bottom right. So as you can see, I currently have the denoise function turned on. Again, I had it turned on while I was recording the track earlier. Mostly, I just left it on, but it was mostly on earlier just to control noise. And I do still hear just a little bit of hiss coming through in these headphones. Some of these other, you have a loopback control, ducking. There's a mute switch. Let's try that out. Mute switch does seem to work as expected. Music only. I don't have anything programmed into that. I don't know what it does. Looks like if you don't, looks like that would probably have to have something plugged into the aux input. And then of course dry sound. Does that change the effect of anything? Okay, so for broadcasting purposes, you got they give you some sound effects to work with here as well. Applause, cheering, laughter, and funny. So let's give these a try. See what they sound like. And then there's 4 others here that I imagine you could probably program with your own sound effects. Probably what those are for. So yeah, it's definitely got some some cool features on it. There's an auto tune and an electron. I don't know what that does. Electron seems to be some electron B, electron C, electron dB. Seems to be a pitch correction. Yeah, seems to be a pitch correction tool of some kind. And then of course there's the auto tune. And auto tune of course is a very, very handy studio tool in modern day recording. Not just for recording music. So there's definitely there's a lot of features on here that are that would be really, really useful for podcasting. I don't think I got it on camera, but there is the auto tune and the electron features there as well. And last but not least, it's actually rechargeable. So this the same USB cable. It comes with 2 USB cables. One you can is for plugging into your computer. The other one is a USB-C cable there on the back. There they are right there. The other one here on this side is for charging. So once it has a full charge, it'll run several hours. I kept it running for at least a couple 3 hours when I was recording this track the other day, and it held up fine. Didn't die on me. Now, let's talk about some of the cons that I've noticed. It's lightweight. I would hope that something with this much, this many electronic features, would be a little bit heavier duty, a little bit heavier duty built, for lack of a better description. It's got, some of the knobs they're okay, but they're plastic knobs, and I didn't pop any of them off. I fear that they might be plastic potentiometers, and they do wobble around quite a bit. They're fairly loose. They're not real tight and real stiff to operate. So there's that, and as I already mentioned, they're for actual recording, particularly for high gain guitar tones. There's a lot of noise, man. There is a lot of noise in that mic pre. So just be wary of that. Now, as far as the noise feature goes, now it is important to know I did not use an actual amp. I used all virtual amplifiers, and I plugged straight into this interface. So, that was an interface with IK Multimedia Amplitude 5, I believe, with the Engel E650 model that you heard on that whole track. So the delay on the delay sound of the guitar solo was also Amplitude 5. It was all virtual amps and effects in that thing. So no real amps, no microphones, none of that stuff. That was me plugged straight into the interface. Everything else was virtual. So that may have had something to do with the noise factor. Even the noise gates that I was using were noise gate plugins. So with the exception of the one that I turned on the interface itself. Yeah, now 7 Rhymes are a company that they make clones of more affordable clones of other devices out there. So for example, they have a clone of the Rode Wireless Go 2 microphones that I use for the audio, most of the audio, dialogue audio, most of my videos these days. It's a great wireless microphone system specifically for YouTube. I really come to love that microphone system. And they have a clone version of that's a little bit more inexpensive. The 7Caster SE2 seems to be along the same lines. I'm not sure. I think it's probably a TC Electronic or a Roland podcasting, or maybe even the Rodecaster Pro, one of the Rodecaster models that the 7Caster is a clone of. But regardless, it's for $119 that it sells for on Amazon. It's a really, really good value. Certainly, more than enough for more than enough to get you up and running for your podcasting needs. And even for some basic recording, it's great for that. You pick up a couple of you pick up a microphone or two, a set of headphones, and a couple of cables along the way, and basically, assuming you got the computer and the software already, you're ready to go for recording a podcast. That's a pretty budget-friendly podcasting setup that, again, is enough to get the job done, and certainly enough to get you up off the ground. If you're doing some more serious stuff, if you've already got a larger podcasting audience, or you anticipate growing one pretty quickly, this probably is not going to be for you. But in those instances, you probably already, have done the research and have already invested in some higher-end equipment for such an endeavor. Overall, good product. Links will be down in the description. Thank you very much for taking the time to check out this video, and thank you very much to 7 Rhymes for sending along the 7Caster SE2 for me to check out and share here with you guys. So check out the links down in the description below, along with any promos if there are any available. Adios.